When we talk about the Philippines' comparative regional competitiveness, there is one aspect that no other country in the ASEAN region can compete with: its workforce. We will evaluate this further, and to do so, I would like to introduce you to our next moderator. She is an award-winning Manhattan-based journalist, producer, host, and communications specialist. Please welcome Monette Rivera.
So let me introduce the leaders of the revitalized manufacturing industry of the Philippines, led by Undersecretary Nora Terrado, on my left, of the Department of Trade and Industry, Roberto Garcia, Chairman and Administrator of SBMA, Mr. Arthur Tan, President and CEO of Integrated Microeconomic Electronics Incorporated, and Custodio of the Freeport area of Bataan.
When I attract customers to the Philippines, whether it's something to do with supporting manufacturing or something to do in the IT development work or something in the business process, they come to the Philippines because of cost, but they stay because of quality and scalability. The Philippines is the fourth largest shipbuilder in the world, followed by Japan, China, and Korea. And I think that this would be indicative of the strength of the Philippine manufacturing sector.
We run 13 manufacturing plants in 6 countries and employ about 15,000 people globally. I'm proud to say that the testing equipment to check on the radiation of nuclear factories are actually built in the Philippines. Mm-hmm. And we're the only one designated in the entire world outside of Europe and the United States to be able to build those types of electronic components. And about 40 to 45% of our products are actually in automotive electronics. And these are not electronic devices that are things that you don't see when you drive the car, but it makes it safe. In fact, the latest one is this next generation of automated driving cars, self-driving cars. I'm very proud to say that the critical components of that, the vision system, the brake system, the chassis control, the ECUs that actually control these driverless vehicles actually are manufactured in the Philippines. Mm-hmm. To give you an idea of how good the Filipinos are in terms of workmanship, the level of defects that are allowed in this type of, your brake system in your cars are actually 6 defects per million. That's the level that you're allowed. And we run the factories in the Philippines right now after shipping 100 million brake systems at 4 defects per million. That's the quality, and that's hard to quantify and actually put on paper. How much is that worth?
The Freeport area of Bataan has sort of been the comeback kid when it comes to industrial areas in the Philippines. It was the first export processing zone in the 70s, established by the term of President Marcos. But it went into the doldrums, but it's now back. And a lot of it has been because of its establishing itself as the high-end manufacturing hub of the Philippines. When we took over the Freeport in the year 2010, we had a labor pool of around 12,000 direct employees. To date, it's increased. We've more than doubled it, and in the Freeport area of Bataan, we already have over 27,000 employees. Mm-hmm.
Our employment is dominated by agricultural workers and the services sector. But presently, I can see that there is a very bright opportunity for the manufacturing sector to grow as far as the Philippines is concerned. I think this presents a great opportunity for the Philippines because I think it's an accepted fact that the Philippine labor force is one of the best in the world. And we have shown that in Subic Bay, we have one of the largest shipbuilders in the world, Hanjin Industries. So this is really evidence that the Filipino can excel in particular areas like shipbuilding, electronics, and right. The overall environment right now in terms of cost structure, and more importantly, because many companies now are looking for places to serve the ASEAN integrated market. And, well, Subic Bay and the Philippines, for that matter, is is ideal because we have the land, we have the resources, we have the human capital to really take advantage of this.
Historically and consistently, the Philippines has shown that our growth rate for our minimum wage has been has come in bite-sized increments. So compared to China, which is exponential and has already shot over the roof, the wage increases in the Philippines have been very manageable. So it gives confidence to the people coming in that they can stay here for a long time.
China is no longer the low-cost producer in the world today. In Subic, our wages are half of what the wages are in China.
I think the fact that the Philippines is signatory to the trade agreements like the GSP and the GSP Plus has opened new markets for companies operating in the Philippines. In our case, because of the inclusion of travel goods in the products that can enter the US in the case of GSP, or the European Union countries in the case of GSP Plus, by lower or even zero tariff rates. So a lot of manufacturers have come in, high-end brands like Coach, Michael Kors, Kate Spade. So they've come to the Freeport area of Bataan. They employ thousands of people. They're very happy with their productivity. So this is something that we see that's something that's going to continue in the years moving forward.
So if the Philippines is looking at moving beyond just pure labor arbitrage, then we have to start investing into a better supply chain. And that's where the small, medium scale focus that the government has in developing the different sub-industries of supplying into the local market, I think is where it's going to come to fruition. So that longer term view of developing the next generation hybrid factory in manufacturing, which is semi-automated, using very, very highly skilled workers, I think is where the Philippines will hit its sweet spot. Aside from the financial aspect that we're economically competitive on a labor base, is that we have the skilled labor to be able to not just build something, but even operate the most complex robotics and automation machines there is.